Hello, it's Mark Webb here from Webb's at Weybridge. We are checking out the Austin Healey 3000 today, and in this video I'm going to show you how to put the roof up and down, how to start the car and all the controls, and then obviously how to drive her safely and some tips for when you're on the road. So here we have our Austin Healey 3000. She's a Mark II and she is a 1962 2+2, so you've got two seats in the back. We have had adults in the back before, but generally with the roof off it's a bit better for room. So these videos are designed now obviously for the social distancing reasons, and also they're very good for watching before you come and pick up the car, or if it is a surprise and someone's got this for you for a birthday, or it's a wedding and you haven't got time to come and see us, then it's always great to refer to these videos to see how to start the car and all the controls, and tips for putting the roof up and down, and just a great reference really. She's by far our most popular car. She's a 4-speed manual petrol car, and we're going to start with the keys. So here we have two sets of keys, or two keys even. The copper one is the ignition, and the chrome one is for the boot, locking this here. There are no locks on classic cars to lock her, so it's simply just to open her, pull the handle. These doors do tend to sort of want to shut on you, but we're just going to clamber in and into the nice cockpit. Here we are. So inside we've got a few switches, not too many on this car, just to run through them all. This is the washer pump. The heating control, generally just keep it on to hot or cold. Don't worry about these vent selectors. The choke you won't need in the summer. We've got the ignition key. I'm going to put the copper key in here, and it runs on a start button. So to start the car, one turn of the key, and here is the start button here. It does actually say S on it, although it's a bit faded. So to start her up, you hold it down and just give it a little rev. And there we are. To stop the car, you just turn the key. Simple. To continue with the switches, we've got the wiper. Again, this is a pull and push motion. This is the starter button again. The indicator, this flashes green when the indicators are on, which is the traditional stalk. And then we've got the overdrive. Now overdrive is like a 5th gear. When it's on, you will have this orange light on the dash come on. I'm not sure if you can see it in the light, but it is on there. Now overdrive is to be used in 3rd and 4th gear. Once you've got to 4th gear, you simply flip that on and you'll feel it drop down into sort of a 5th gear. You can't brake it, you just turn it off when you're slowing down and when you return to sort of B roads, and you can change gear whilst overdrive is engaged. Last thing is the horn isn't here on this car, it is pressing down on the stalk. You've got the fuel gauge, which comes up when you turn the ignition on, speedo, rev counter, and then again with the water, it normally sits between 160 and 190 in this car. If you're getting up over 212, do switch her off and let it cool down if you've been in traffic and on a hot day. But generally these cars will look after themselves, and we don't really get any issues with overheating, but it is something you should keep your eye on, being a classic car. Gears on the Healey are 4 gears, as I've mentioned, with overdrive. They are marked at the top, and it's straight up and down for 1st and 2nd. There's no synchro mesh on this, which means you need to make sure that you come to a complete stop before you put it into 1st gear. Otherwise you'll get a horrible crunching sound and you can wreck the gearbox. So before you go back to 1st gear, when you're still moving, come to a complete stop and then 1st gear. Reverse is marked on here, and you've got to knock it across the gate, give it a knock and back, and that's reverse. And just knock it back in, and it's traditional handbrake just here. If you put that all the way down to the floor, then just make sure it's not still on slightly. That's it for that. Also with the seat belts, we've got seat belts in the front. They adjust, so what you need to do is set your seat. There's a lever under the seat, and you push to the right hand side, and you can move the seat to suit you. And then once you've got the position right of the seat, then you put the seat belt on and you adjust it with the adjusting strap here, so that you're not too tight, so you can lean forwards at junctions. The car comes with a nice blue canvas roof. First we need to put the frame on, which is hidden behind here, and you can see the frame here, and it goes into 2 holes, one here and one on the other side there. So first of all we lift this up and we rock this forwards, and that gives us room to access the frame. The frame only goes in one direction, so you just need to slide it out an angle, and then the frame is free to lift up, and you can actually just about do this one-handed and by yourself, and you get it into position. Once it's here, you then rock this back, just the back bit. Next you put the roof over the top. The roof is stored in the boot, so it's one little turn on here. Just be careful with this because it's not super stable. Cars were made a little bit more delicately in the past. There's a metal bar behind here which comes out like such, and then there's a little locator that you can just pop it in to hold her up, and then we're going to get the roof out. It goes in at 45 degrees, so when you ease her out, just make sure that we come past the corner here, and then remove the roof and pop it over the top. So we've got our roof here. We're going to first of all secure it onto the front. If you look, you'll see that there's a groove along the windscreen, and once we get that over, we're going to make sure that the front of this fits into the groove. So once you've got that on here and it's nice and firmly on and central, you then just need to take the canvas roof, and then we're going to use these poppers to pop onto these little nipples here, and these just pop on by just pulling over the top and pushing on. Once they're on, to release them, they're on a little spring, so you need to just pull them. If you look here, they're on a little spring there, and they do just pop off. The last one is a push and a twist, so you just push that over and twist that round, and there we have the roof on the car, and she looks very pretty still with the roof on. If it is unfortunately cold, wet and rainy, you can put these windows on. They locate into the top hole here and then onto this bracket here. So you undo this, which is where this sits, and you undo this, which is where that sits, and I'll show you how it goes on. So this locates into here, make sure the rubber's on the outside of the door, and then this goes into here, and then we simply take these and we screw them on to tighten her up. And then this one goes on here. We tighten that one up all on here. That goes on all the way. There we are with the roof, and now the window on the side as well. And it does stay nice and dry in there. The removal is the reverse. Just make sure when you're taking these off that you give them a pull, and that releases. It's hard to do one-handed. That releases those, and do them one by one very carefully around the sides, and they all fit into the boot. Once the roof's in the boot, just be careful when you close it not to let anything sort of catch on the inside and dent the exterior, so just give it a close very gently. Right, so we've showed you everything as far as the putting the roof up and down and the car goes. Just remember the synchro mesh on this car and the overdrive for the 5th gear. Also, obviously not having any ABS or any of the modern power steering or anything like that. Just go easy when you first get in her, get used to her. Take your time putting out junctions and things like that, and if you have any questions, just give us a call. We're always on the phone should you need us.